And then we're back with another one. Yes. How's everyone's mental health? How's everyone doing? You know what I mean? People are going through stuff. I do know that. A few people that I know of is going through stuff. Crazy how this world does us. You know what I mean? But I hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's cool. I know I might look different. Yeah, I cut my beard off. Oh yeah, and the hair. I'm trying to do the waves. I don't know how I got a spot there like crazy. Cut my hair off. I thought it was time for a new look but old look but new look. You know what I mean? And yeah. So what's on today's agenda? Well, a few months ago we were reported on the singer David. You know what I mean? When they found the ex-girlfriend, because he's a pedophile. She was young. And found their body in his Tesla. So when I was talking to people about this, some people will say, no, but he hasn't been arrested, he hasn't been charged. You can't try to put another black man. Bro, I understand. But you were wrong. Because now he was charged. He was arrested. The body was frozen. They're saying that the body was frozen in his property. He has a life. What's the point of me recapping it if I can show you? You know what I mean? Alright. Let's watch this. Because this is crazy. We all knew already. Some people are crazy. Man, he did a whole song, video. Bro, it's I don't understand. It's sickness.
David case right now. Allegations of a new second suspect and macabre details of how the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was allegedly disposed of that will just make you sick. And again, this is the girl whose body was found in a car reportedly registered to the singer. If this is all true, it raises a whole new set of questions about what we can expect next. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. By the way, before we get more into this, just gotta say something real quick. Have you ever left a meeting and thought to yourself, what are we just talking about?
No,
last week, how TMZ claims that they spoke with the LAPD and they allegedly said that an arrest is not imminent in this case. And it was also reported that singer David is being considered a suspect. There's been a little bit of back and forth on whether this is strictly a death investigation or officially a homicide investigation. The LAPD hasn't labeled this a homicide investigation per se. And of course, this comes as this 14-year-old girl was found in the trunk of a car allegedly registered to David back on September 8th out in LA. But the back and forth on this has been really, really confusing because the LAPD had come out at one point and said they weren't sure if there was a crime beyond concealment of the body, and we were all waiting for the official LA County Medical Examiner's results and toxicology reports to come in. To be clear, there have been no arrests in connection with Celeste's death, but now let's talk about what just happened. According to TMZ, sources close to the investigation tell them that Celeste's body was frozen, that it had actually been
frozen. Bro, this, and you know this, it was my mom. My mom said, no, don't. I told my mom, this man did it. He done did it. The body's in your whip. The body is in your car. The body has been dismembered. And the LAPD say it's not a crime. My brother, what are we doing here? Honestly. You know what I mean?
Out that she had been decapitated, that her limbs had been severed and cut into pieces. Look, I'm sorry I have to say this, okay? I'm sorry I'm mentioning this, but this is the reporting. I hope it's not true. And I will add this, though, if it is true, the ME potentially can't determine a cause of death. Again, this is all according to TMZ. And actually, talking the ME, KTLA reported that...
Rest in peace to Celeste. Rest in peace to this young girl. It's nuts. This is my chain. It's nuts. I don't know how. It's just one of those things. Like, it's just a young girl. I know teenagers can be hard to deal with sometimes. I understand. But come on, my man, Pappy should have known. She's dating. She is going out with an older man, and not like a year, a lot of amount of years. Sorry about that. And my phone should be, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Celeste's case number is 2025-14252. And when searching that number on the ME's page online, it had listed the cause of death as deferred pending additional tests. However, now, according to KTLA, that has changed on Friday. When you plug in that case number, all the fields are now empty. So KTLA has speculated whether that means a determination has been made in this case, or whether there has been a security measure been put in place upon official release to the public. And sources apparently telling TMZ, though, that the cause and manner of death could ultimately be listed as undetermined. Now, if that's true, it raises a ton of questions, and it may explain some of the confusing elements of this.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. If I'm dead, someone killed something, whatever, and they found my body cut up in my friend's car, you best nick that motherfucker. You best nick him, you know. You best American. You better arrest him, you know. What? If I am dead in my brethren's car, I'm gone missing. And I'm dead in my friend's car, and you're telling me I'm cut up in a bag, and they're saying that they don't know if it's a murder, bro, big man. What are we doing here?
This case, and look, it should also be noted that TMZ is reporting that in the rental property in the Hollywood Hills, which was near where that Tesla was parked on Bluebird Avenue, seemingly abandoned before it was towed away to the tow yard and Celeste's body was found inside. In that rental property where David had apparently been staying, TMZ claims that if you look at photos from inside that house from a few years ago, there is a large KitchenAid refrigerator freezer. And they go into the dimensions and whether it's possible a mutilated body could fit in there. By the way, a search warrant was executed on that property and reportedly items were seized. But to be clear, this is all speculative.
Okay.
This is all speculative.
Okay, I hear you.
Put in the dots here. And you have to wonder if this reporting is true. That body was found in a hot car, right? It was reported that that Tesla had been there for weeks, even having been ticketed. So where was the body stored? When was it transferred? And I also have to mention this. TMZ had previously reported, and now is really talking about this, that police may be looking into an alleged trip that David had made to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night months ago in the spring. Spent a couple hours there, apparently. This is a new allegation. TMZ's Harvey Levin saying on his Two Angry Men podcast that he believes, quote, that Santa Barbara trip is the key to this case. Now, a police source told People magazine that while LAPD haven't been able to pinpoint exactly when Celeste died, quote, springtime is the closest we've come to determining the time of her death, not before then. Again, this is unidentified source, no independent verification of that, particularly from the LAPD. Before I go any further, before I go into the next development, let me just say this real quick. Whether this is true or not about what happened to Celeste, this must be incredibly painful for Celeste's family to hear this theory, to hear this reporting. And I don't want that to get lost in all of this. Yes, there's a large community who's following and invested in what happened to this girl. And while we can speculate and theorize and try to provide more information to law enforcement, let's never forget we are talking about the loss of such a young life under very disturbing circumstances. But that now leads into this second piece of major news that we need to get into as well. TMZ is now reporting that there is a second person who may be considered a suspect.
They were saying that there might be two people. Listen, we're just talking here. Because when I was talking to my mum or wherever, I had a conversation, and my mum said, how do you know it could be him? It could have been his brother. And I was like, why would the brother, how old's the brother? So I'm Googling, how old? One second. How old's the brother? Okay, he's put with 4. How old is the brother? Oh, you can see this over there. We're gonna see how old the brother is. Oh, okay, it's not a public knowledge. You can't. Okay. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because the bro, anyway. Guys can do your research. Just go and do your research. This is a young girl, man. I don't know, it's not a funny situation, but it's just horrible that
in this
how.
investigation, someone who allegedly
Imagine being a parent. Imagine being a parent, and I'm a parent.
Criminal defense attorney,
you know what I mean?
Said on his Two Angry Men podcast with Harvey Levin, he claimed that he knew the identity of this person. That authorities told him this person may have been involved, quote, before, during, and after Celeste's death. And Garagos claimed that it was a combination of cell phone data and electronic data from the Tesla, location data from social media, that all leads to this second potential suspect, with Garagos saying he thinks this all means that this person, quote, connected to one of the last times that car was moved. And when we spoke to Steve Fisher, the private investigator, who was hired by the person that owns the rental property that David had lived at, he says he saw video of someone driving that Tesla and provided that information to law enforcement. I say all that now to bring in Mike King, retired police commander, host of Profiling Evil, author of Wolves in Sheep's Clothing. Thank you so much for coming on. First time you and I had a chance to talk about this case. This is a big development. Talk to me about what you make of this reporting that Celeste's body may have been dismembered, decapitated.
It's just sad. It is. It's sad a young girl was... Because the thing is, was she groomed? She was groomed. She was groomed. She was groomed. Because the age difference between him and her is a big age difference. You know what I mean? A massive age difference. Like massive age difference. And people knew and did nothing. There's too many nonsense walking around just doing anything they want to do because they're famous. That's... Yo. Anyway, man. Watch, subscribe. Again, rest in peace to Celeste. Family and prayers and all that stuff. But bro, that's crazy. That is nuts. That is actually nuts. Like, I just feel... Oh. And I got a daughter. And she's gonna be 10 in a few weeks. And just seeing these young girls being groomed by this big man, and they don't tell their parents. Like, you don't know when, where. You don't know. Like, you just don't know. It's nuts to me, man.